Good morning, students. Good morning, students. I welcome you all for the online class of business studies. Today we will be continuing with the international business topic as we were learning about the business transactions. International business versus domestic business. Let us continue with the topic. Benefits of international business are as follows, students. As we learned, benefits to nations. Earning of foreign exchange can be done as foreign exchange plays a very important role in the increase in the development of our country. As more and more foreign currency reserves will be there, we will be having more of income. So that is the benefits to nation. International business helps a country to earn more foreign exchange which can be used to import capital goods. Definitely if we will have more foreign currency which is having more value than our currency value, we can get easy for our import of goods. So that is the benefit of having international business. Technology, petrol, products, fertilizer, etc. can also be achieved through the way of international business. Then we have read more efficient use of resources. In this we have studied every country has some of the other natural resources. For example, a country may possess mineral resources, labor resources, technological capabilities, water resources, etc. Every country tries to use the resources in the best possible manner, and gradually they become more efficient and specialized in using these resources than other countries. For example, Japan may produce electronic goods more efficiently than India, and India may produce agriculture goods more efficiently than Japan. Thus, India can buy electronic goods from Japan, and Japan can purchase agriculture products from India. So these interdependency can be possible when international business is set up. Improving growth prospect and employment potential. Definitely, student, like India is a country of labor intensive technology because more and more labors are there. Same way Japan is having modernized technology because their labors are not so much as compared to other countries. So what these two countries can do there, they can interchange what factors they are having for the production and what factor they are lacking, they can exchange from other countries. So that is a good point, having the international business. So it can help in the growth prospect of the country, employment potential gain. Companies can import technical know-how to utilize their resources, increase production, receive an increase in GDP leading to economic growth of the country. External trade creates employment opportunity directly as well as indirectly. External trade results in increase in production, and due to increased production, the demand for labor increases, which increases employment opportunities. On the other hand, export-oriented industries provide employment opportunities such as forward agents, clearing agents, etc. Increases the standards of living, students. Yes, definitely standard of living of the people will change when there is international business, as we come to know what other countries production is there, what the fashion is there, what the technology is implemented in other countries. By when this technology comes in the form of international business to our country, as that technology is imported to our country, we get more familiar with that technology and the way of work. So that is a good example, like smartphones are the example that the technology brought from the foreign countries. Now not only we are familiar with that, but we are also using it. So that can be brought only when international business is there. If it was not there, we cannot think of having the knowledge about this type of technologies. So standard of living also will change, as education will impart more good standard of living by understanding the technology which is at the outer side. Benefits to firms, what are their prospect for higher profit? Definitely, students, when the business is doing international business, definitely prospect for getting more profit is there, because in our own country, if the demand is not there, if we are not getting good price, then if the demand of the same good is in the foreign country, we can export it to the foreign country to gain more and more profit. Or you can say market for the product increases, not only for national level but at international level. So generally international business is more profit than domestic business. When the prices in domestic market are low, then firms sell at higher price in international market in the countries where prices are high. Increase capacity utilization. It shows companies involved in external trade increase their production capacity. With increase in production capacity, these firms get benefit of large production or economics of scale and reduce the cost of production. Prospect for growth. When the demand for the products start becoming saturated in domestic countries, then such firms can enhance their business by approaching international market. This is the main motivation for many MNCs at developed countries to enter in the markets of developing countries. So there is a prospect for growth, student, that when the demand for the products start becoming saturated in domestic countries, then such firms can enhance their business by approaching international market. This is the main motivation for many MNC. Way out from intense competition in the domestic market, high competitive domestic market drives many companies to go international in search of markets for their products. This helps them to grow and expand. So that is the more intense competition in the domestic market is there. So high competition will be there in the domestic market, which drives many companies to go international in search of market for their product. Improved business vision. The vision to become international comes from the urge to grow. Companies get strategic and technical advantages by going international. Many companies are including it as their main objective and strategy. Mode of entering into international business is that exporting and importing. What do you mean by export and import? Exporting refers to sending of goods and services from the home country to a foreign country, and importing means buying and selling of goods and services from a foreign country. It is known as import. We have learnt at the beginning of the chapter, but we not learnt there are some procedure. Yes, student, definitely it is not so easy to export and import of goods. There are some legal rules and regulations because two countries, two different governments are there. We are united by the international law that we can help us to do export and import of goods. So let us see what are the procedures every person have to follow so that they can export the goods, and what are the procedures they have to follow so as to do import of goods. On the other hand, when a firm employs a middleman to perform this formality, then it is called indirect exporting and importing. Export procedures, let us start. What do you mean by procedure, student? First of all, step by step the process of sending the goods from one country to another country, selling them off, like from our home country we are selling the goods to other foreign country. It is known as export. And the steps for export procedures are as follows. Very first, receipt of inquiry and sending quotations. The prospective buyers of a product send an inquiry to different exporters regarding price, qualities, terms and conditions, etc. Sometimes inquiry is conducted by giving advertisement to. The exporter sends a reply to this inquiry in the form of a quotation termed as pro forma invoice. Pro forma invoice contains detailed information regarding price, quality, size, weight, shape, etc. of product which the exporter can supply. May I think the receipt of inquiry is very easy, student, because receipt of inquiry is the work of the importer, for the importer, student, not the exporter, because they had to get the details what the people want to order. So for that, receipt of inquiry is needed. The prospective buyer of a product sends an inquiry to the different exporters so that they can come to know what the goods they are having, what size, what quality, what price, regarding the terms and condition. After that, they query is conducted, then they make an order, and that is known as in the form of quotation, summed as pro forma invoice. Exporter will send the details, what quality of product they are having, what quantity they are having, what size they are having, they will be sent into pro forma invoice. Pro forma invoice contains detailed description of the product. Next, receipt of order or intent. When we talk about receipt of order or intent, student, it is that concept in case the prospective buyer is satisfied with the information given in the pro forma invoice, then he places an order for the goods to be dispatched. This order is known as intent. It contains the description regarding the goods ordered, their price, delivery, terms and conditions, packaging and marking instructions, etc. So that is known as receipt of order or intent. So receipt of order or intent is that, students, where we make a placement of the order of the goods. Assessing importer's creditworthiness and securing guarantee for payment. After receiving the order and before manufacturing the good, the exporter inquiry about the creditworthiness of the importer to get payment security. To minimize the rise of default payment, most of the exporter prefer to demand a letter of credit. Letter of credit is a surety that the importer will make payment to banks and bank will make payment to the exporter on behalf of the importer. So that is assessing importers' creditworthiness and securing guarantee for payment. Obtaining export license. According to the custom law, a firm must acquire an export license before exporting goods. The prerequisites of export licenses are as follows. Very first, obtaining IEC number, import-export code. Before starting the export procedure, the exporter has to get an IEC number. This number is used in filling the formalities of export procedures. To get this number, the exporter has to apply to the regional import-export licensing authority in the prescribed form. Along with the application, the exporter must submit the following documents. Very first, details about the personal record of the exporter. Second, bank receipt for payment of fees to apply for IEC number. Certificate from the bankers. Declaration by the exporter that they will not be exporting the good listed in the caution list. Caution list contains the goods on which there is restriction on export like alcohol. If the regional import-export licensing authority is satisfied with the formality, then they will issue the import-export code number to the exporter. Obtaining RCMC registration cum membership. Now you will be saying, after getting IEC number, what is the export license we got by getting the IEC code. But if with this IEC code we get the obtaining RCMC registration cum membership certificate, then what benefits we can get in the export? Exporter get various benefit in the form of subsidies and exemption in excise duty, tax, etc. To get this benefit, they have to show RCMC. So that is a good point, student. If we are having the RCMC, definitely we will get relaxation from the excise duty, tax, etc. After getting the IEC number, the exporter applies for RCMC. The RCMC is issued by Export Promotion Council, Federation of Indian Export Organization, Export Development Authority, etc. To get the RCMC, the exporter submits a bank certificate and IEC number along with the application to any of the above mentioned authorities. If authorities are satisfied, then they will issue the RCMC. Registration with ECGC, Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. It is necessary in order to protect overseas payment from political and commercial risk. This registration also helps the exporter to get financial assistance from commercial banks and other financial institutions, which is a very good point for the exporter because many of the time they require this commercial banks help and assistance, financial institution help. So if they are having the ECGC, that is Export Credit Guarantee Corporation card registration form, it is a choice. It is not compulsion. But if they are having, they will be getting the overseas payment from political and commercial risk. Like for example, if any war situation is there and we have already exported the goods from our country to another country where the war situations is arising. So what it will be riskier for us to get the payment back. So in this situation, if we are having ECGC, definitely we will get, it will be an compulsion that they will be making the payment to us. So export overseas payment from political and commercial risk. Obtaining pre-shipment finance. Pre-shipment finance, what is, student? See here, always the ships will be ready for our goods. It is not like that. So we have to make a finance ready so that at the time we have to make the booking of the ships so that our goods will be loaded over the ships and transported. As we learned, international business can be done through air route and sea route. Air route, airways, we can export light items, not the heavy and bulk items. So that for that time, definitely the ship is needed, and for that pre-shipment finance is to be done. So pre-shipment finance is a finance which the exporter needs to procure raw materials, other components, processing and packaging of goods and transportation of goods to the port for shipment. After receiving a letter of credit, the exporter approaches his banker to obtain pre-shipment in finance. Production and procurement of goods. After sending the confirmation of to the importer, the exporter start manufacturing the product according to the specification. If the exporter is not a manufacturer, then he start procuring the goods from different manufacturer as per the specification of the export order. Pre-shipment inspection, student. Quality plays a very important role in external trade. Exporter have to follow international quality standards. The goods are produced strictly according to the quality specification of buyers. In India, it is compulsory to get a pre-shipment quality inspection according to Quality Control and Inspection Act. The government has prescribed certain quality standards keeping in mind the safety and health of the people. Export inspection councils are set up to check whether exporters are following those quality standards or not. If the council is satisfied, then they issue an inspection certificate. Without inspection certificate, export is not permitted. Now in our class, the last point about this export procedure we will be going to learn is how many type of inspection is done. How many types of inspection? 3 types of inspection is done, student. One is consignment wise inspection. As the name is consignment wise. Consignment means batch wise order. As the order we are getting, we are producing. So if we make the batch wise inspection of our goods, like first batch came, it is inspected, second batch in the second time. So that method of exporter calls the inspector from export council after goods are ready for dispatch. The inspector checks each consignment of finished goods, and if he is satisfied, then he issues a certificate of inspection. So who calls? Exporter calls. From where? From export council department, one inspector to inspect the goods. In process quality control. Under this method, the inspector inspect the quality during the production process. While goods are in process of manufacturing, then only the inspector comes and inspect the quality. In this method, the inspector can check the quality of raw material used, technology or type of machinery used, etc. If the inspector is satisfied, then an inspection certificate is issued by him. Self-certification, student. Reputed firms and large-scale exporters themselves see to it that international quality standards are maintained to improve and earn goodwill in the international market. They try to obtain international quality standards such as ISI mark 9000, ISO 2000, etc. These firms acquire mechanism of quality assurance and self-testing facility. After self-inspection, they may also approach the export inspection council to inspect the quality standards and issue a certificate. Next class, we will be going to learn exercise clearance and other point. Thank you for today's class and have a nice day. I will be asking you people to revise this 7 points, because till 14 points if I will be teaching in one class, it will be difficult. So till 7 point, whatever points and sub points I have tell about the process of export, just go through it. Thank you for today's class. Have a nice day.